This is Lumpstick, a Holden SSU with a cammed V8, all wrapped in the brightest, most obnoxious green I could find. But I am not done yet. I want this big 6-litre Aussie pushrod V8 to sound like a Ferrari. I am chasing the impossible, that high-pitched Italian V8 supercar scream. I've already thrown on equal length race style headers and now it's time to go full send. Here is where I begin my mission to create the perfect V8 exhaust. Will straight piping this thing give me that exotic note that I'm after, or will it just make it sound like a wet fart? And if that's not enough, by the end of this video, I will be wiring in this insane 2-step module. Headphone users, this is your first and final warning. So I'm here with my mate Alex, aka 81 Rona, and we are going to be chopping off the current tips that are pointing up, and we're going to be replacing them with some beautiful twin 3-inch blast pipes, which along with some other creative engineering should give us a more race car note and possibly bigger flames. But before we begin, we're going to give the ute a quick service because she is currently about 5,000 kilometers overdue. So we're going to do that before we rev the ever-living shit out of it. And the oil does look a little bit cooked, but at least there is oil in there nonetheless. Now this does say 5W30, but we will be running 10W40 because this one is for race cars. Racing synthetic, because we're building a race car, not a normal Commodore. Now some of you may have noticed the engine bay in the underneath of this is red, and that is because we have wrapped it, if you haven't figured that out. I like to call it the watermelon because it's, you know, green on the outside, red on the inside. I was going to put some like watermelon decal seeds in the middle. You know, like a watermelon, you open up and it's red. Yeah, anyway, fucking whatever. I thought it was a cool idea. Look at this, just seeing the under bit of the wrap here is all wrecked from its scraping because the front is pretty low. I think the only real way we're going to get around that is with a set of airbags, but that'll be a later down the track thing. Look at that, shocking. I picked up this thing, had it all restored and resprayed and everything, and it's now fucked and somewhat held on by zip ties. You can see the original color there. Fantastic.
Get it, 2-step, I just want that boost back. Oh, you think you know Jack? Come on, run your knapsack. Blessing all these bitches, you think I am a fool? Freddy is a killer, now you don't know what to do.
Whoa.
Freddy sitting there with the crown. He could be the king of all the future on your...
Oh, mate, I think your trajectory was in another continent. So it is good to see that the oil isn't actually sparkly, which is a good sign because it means that the ute isn't ruined and that the lack of servicing for the last 5,000 Ks isn't too big of an issue. I mean, not good. I wouldn't advise missing on your services, you know, but you get busy, you know.
It's very thin and you can smell the fuel in the oil.
What's it mean if there's fuel in the oil?
A little bit of fuel in the oil is not a problem. A lot of fuel in the oil is a problem because it'll thin the oil out and then it won't actually lubricate properly, and then you'll end up spinning bearings.
Ah, right. We don't want to spin anything but tyres, right?
Yes.
Within legal reason, you know.
Yes.
Finger tight will do.
It definitely will not fall out.
Let's observe our soup here. Look at that, not too terrible.
I'm going to reuse it in my Datsun, I think.
Now it's very important you pre-lubricate your oil filters, so we're just going to get that in there. There you are, you want to whack that on for us. Nice and lubricated, because if you don't, they can get stuck.
This fucking shit, fuck the people, fuck the world, and fuck you, bitch, you think you cool.
Alex, how many litres do I chuck in this again?
All of them.
No, it's going to overflow and make a mess.
We should probably Google it.
Make sure you guys Google how much oil your car actually takes before you go flood the fucking thing. Now, I'm not sponsored by Penrite, but if one of you oil companies out there want to have a discussion, you've got my email. Let's chat. Beautiful.
Looks like honey. Do you reckon it tastes like honey?
I don't know, you want to try some?
Doesn't taste like honey.
What were you expecting?
Tastes like bitter old carpet.
Bitter old carpet. Would you like some of our fucking wine from the hills? Some of our most exclusive beverage? Here, sample this, good sir. Ah, that golden, lubricative, sweet nectar. Yes. How did you find that, good sir? Would you like to sample a bit more? Yes. Got hints of garbage with an aftertaste of fucking carpet. Allow me to pour it all over the fucking ABS module. Brilliant. Only the best for you, sir. How are we looking?
We are slightly over.
Bah, sure, we right. Get it back up and get into the exhaust, eh? Right, so the main point of this video and what we're here for today, we're going to be taking these rear mufflers out and replacing them with straight pipe And Alex and I here went shopping and we've collected a couple of bits of extra pipe, right? Do you want to just show us what that's going to look like?
So we are going to make some beautiful blast pipes to point directly at onlookers' faces.
It's going to be the best anti-tailgating device ever, mate. So rather than these big old 4-inch dumps, which I've started to dislike the look of, they look pretty pipey. We're going to be replacing this angle like that. That would be, let's get them off and we'll line it up and see how it's going to look, eh? Well, the sounds of it, we've cooked another set of mufflers.
Sounds like a rain stick.
So this is why I can't run mufflers. As you can see, it's fried. The idea is essentially if we get rid of the muffler, the flames won't have any more restriction. Neither will the noise. How's that one looking?
Not as bad, still not great.
So we found out why the flame kit stopped working. The spark plugs are bent. Now, I didn't show you guys, but in the last video, after we finished filming everything, I had to do a little rev for the boys in the workshop, you know, show them the flames, and may or may not have shot the catalytic converters straight out the back and, yeah, shattered the spark plugs. Now, before we continue, I got to remind you guys how important safety is. Shout out to my boys, Too Savage. They've got sunnies that are safety rated, that don't look dorky. Here, chuck them on. See, look at that. He's safe and he doesn't look like a nerd. They come in all sorts of styles, not just safeties. You can get normal sunnies that do look schmick. They look great on everyone. These things are built to take it. Look at that, just like they come out of the box. So if you want to grab yourself a set of safety glasses that don't make you look like a dork, or you're just chasing a new pair of sunnies, go check out what they've got and use code Spotto to save yourself an extra 10%. So don't be a tight ass. Links in the description. So it looks like Alex has found some of the remaining catalytic converter in there. That's what that rattle would be. So this is one of the many reasons we're going for a straight pipe, so we don't have to worry about the mufflers blocking anything, you know. There it is. It's a boy. All right, show us where it's going to sit. Oh, I want to try and have him about there. Yeah, I reckon something like that.
You see me walking down the street, ugly as a fucking thing, and I'm scheming on some freak. There ain't no fucking delay.
Remember kids, grinder and paint will always make up for the weld of your aim.
Funny way of saying you're not good at welding, mate.
Yes. Are you happy with it there?
Yeah, mate. It looks fucking schmick.
Alright, cool.
This thing is going to be fucking loud. And I'm keen. I don't think the neighbours will be though. Now, we've got something new that we're going to try in the exhaust. Alex has an idea. He's done some research. He's a smart man and he's done some engineering and believes that if we put a piece of pipe like this in the rear of the exhaust right before the spark plug, it's going to let air in and give us bigger flames. I'll get him to explain it because I can't remember what he said. Do you want to just explain what the go is with the little pipe? Above average size pipe. Plenty of pipe.
It's how you use it. And how we're going to use it is to make a 5-foot flame come out the exhaust of this thing. Now to do that, we're going to need to put more air into the exhaust. There's already heaps of unburnt fuel traveling through the exhaust, almost too much. So it's sort of blowing out the flame. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a hole through here, use this pipe to create a one-way gas valve and use the Venturi effect to allow more air into the exhaust. It'll mix in with the gas, ignite at the spark plug here, and then big 5-foot flame out the back.
Now, for those of you who didn't know, I've got a flame kit in this car. It's this little module here, along with the spark plugs in the rear and some wiring up front. Essentially what it does is it cuts spark, dumps raw fuel through the system, comes into the back here, and ignites at the spark. Ah, fuck! That's hot. Careful of the welds. And we're going to be reinstalling new spark plugs in the rear here that are going to ignite that unburnt fuel. And with the addition of Alex's little air tube here, we should be getting a more air to fuel correct mixture for bigger flames. That's the idea, right, anyway?
Yes.
We might have an upgraded flame kit, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see what it does.
Doesn't have it with the motherfucking automatic. I have had it with these stupid motherfuckers. Come and grab it. I am done. Where you coming from? Better start your run. Before bullets reach the gun and spray and pray. A lot of fun. Why are you so fucking greedy? Keeping evil from the needy.
So it's getting pretty late and we don't have a bung. Would you call it a bung?
Bung.
We don't have a bung for this, right, to be able to screw this in. So we're just going to drop the spark plug there and Alex is just going to go ahead and tack it to the exhaust. And then we're going to make it a later us problem to get out should the time come. So before we had this, now we have this. No muffler. We've reinstalled the spark plug and we've got this new little device which is going to suck in air to help the fuel mixture. Hopefully the spark plug works.
Keeping the quarter pound apart. In my left with the Glock cock. In my left with the Glock cock. In my left with the Glock cock. In my left with the
So this dickhead's just gone to paint the rear deletes and he's gone and somehow blown the can up. How the fuck did you manage that?
I don't even know how I've done that.
Jesus.
I popped the lid off and then
You've just gotten shit on the underside of my genuine HSV bumper, mate.
I don't think you'll ever financially recover from this.
Mate, that's just fucked. Fucking ruined me.
Time of day, I'm a killer, bust a bitch, no snitching, all y'all say no way. All these suckers cannot love a motherfucker when I come and fuck a motherfucking shit. I keep it real when I impact it still.
Alright, so they're on. She looks good. These look incredible. Let's fucking run it. Let's go. Alright, this is going to be fucking loud, so we're going to start it up and, yeah, get it out of here as quickly as we can. Alright, so we've come to another location. It's sounding pretty good. We're going to give it a rev. Show you how it sounds. Show some flames. So that sounded pretty bloody good. I've just been told that it was only shooting flames out one side, and that could be a number of things that we're going to deal with and piss about with later. Now, before we take this thing out and show you this Mechanical Symphony, we're going to quickly whack in this two-step module to make it sound just a little bit more feral. So the blue wire goes to the switch.
What flavour of autism did you get? Did you get planes or did you get dinosaurs or trains? I got cars.
All right, kit's all in, piece of piss. We're going to give it a quick test before I tidy it all up at 3,500 RPM. Let's see how that sounds. It works! I'm going to adjust it. We're going to try 5,500 RPM. I've just realised that in the last tune that we loaded onto the ute, fuel cut on decel was enabled. Basically what that means is when the car is decelerating and you're coming to a stop, the ECU cuts your fuel so you don't waste fuel coming to a stop. But we're not here for economy, we're here for noise. So by disabling this, in theory, we should have excess fuel in the exhaust, which is going to mean more bangs and more flames. We'll give that a second to flash in and then we'll see if we get some flames. Not only did the two-step not shoot flames when it got hotter, but I came to realise the flame kit was only working on one side. We're almost there. Flame kit's giving us grief. I think one half of the module's not working because the passenger side isn't barking and shooting flame, but the right side is. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah. Things were not looking good. I had a bit more of a play around with the tune file and still could not get this thing to shoot flames on two-step. And then to top it all off, I had to cease my testing after upsetting the neighbours who didn't seem to be too fond on the ute's new but subtle race car sound. Personally, I think he's just a little bit butthurt that his Ford back home doesn't sound as hectic. Determined to make this work, I dragged Lumpstick back out to Alex's shop with the sneaking suspicion the spark plugs might be the problem in the kit. After we made some professional observations, we inspected the plugs and it turns out we did make a crucial mistake. Yeah, she's running rich. It just doesn't seem like it's sparking, so... Alright, so we learned our lesson. We need to use the correct spark plugs. We had jammed in some dodgy iridium plugs Alex had laying around with a tiny gap and a pinpoint tip. Not exactly flamethrower spec when comparing them to the kit's replacement plugs, which had a much bigger gap and a bigger button tip. We threw the correct plugs in and boom, we were back in business. And the two-step module still wasn't giving me that backfire I was looking for, but that's a problem for later me in a later video. But right now,
It is time. What you are about to witness is the result of advanced Australian engineering. Weeks of research, hours of pissing around, 6 tanks of fuel, and hundreds more dollars spent on tax-deductible items. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Lumpstick sounds like with Rex ramjet headers and a straight pipe exhaust.
How bloody good does that sound? Over 4,000 RPM, this thing fucking screams, and I'm stoked. Absolutely stoked. Two-step sounds great, although not shooting flames. We'll work on that in the future. I have a couple more tricks up my sleeve to get this thing really sounding like a supercar. This isn't the end of my journey yet. We've got a lot more to go, so make sure you subscribe and don't miss out, and see you in the next one.